Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Let me call your attention to my recent books, 3 of them that you've got to read. You really can't understand anything if you don't know what's in these books. Surviving the Cataclysm, your guide to the greatest financial crisis in human history. You can find a way to buy that from tarpley.net, Tarpley.net, tarpley.net. Click on the cover of Surviving the Cataclysm, and you will be on the fast track to buying it. Same thing goes for Barack H. Obama, the unauthorized biography. Get it through tarpley.net. And similarly, Obama, the Postmodern Coup, the making of a Manchurian candidate. Get it through tarpley.net. We'll be referring to some of these books as they pop up, because they basically foreshadow much of what is going on around us today. The rundown, therefore, on these peace demonstrations, and make them as anti-Obama as you can. There are some demonstrations on Monday, October 5th. Again, what's the point of Monday? But since they're there, if you're off on Monday, go to those. Tuesday, October 7th, the 8th anniversary of the invasion of Afghanistan in the wake of the 9/11 stunt by the U.S. intelligence community. That's another one. So if you're off on Tuesday, October 7th, go to those. And then Saturday, October 17th, other anti-war actions. And unfortunately, there is no common front among even the groups that you think might be involved, the various answer coalitions, peace and justice, and so forth. They're all in disarray, mainly because the foundations upon which some of these have depended don't want attacks on Obama. But there will be now a growing anti-war movement. The Italians, as I've said, in the wake of the killing of the 6 Italian soldiers in the past week, there's now a split. You can see it in the Italian government. The president of Italy, Napolitano, ex-communist, is totally on the stay the course line, and the defense minister, La Russa, also says time to renew our commitment to Afghanistan. Berlusconi shows himself again to be a possible statesman, certainly in this situation. Berlusconi, in many ways, the most positive head of government in Europe. That's why he's under attack. Figure it out. Learn something. Why is Berlusconi under attack? Because he sometimes does something halfway decent. Berlusconi says he wants a transition strategy to get out. He has already said the Italian forces had been augmented for the time of the Afghan election. So Berlusconi has now ordered the extra Italian forces back out of Afghanistan, and he says, I want a transition strategy. So you can see this pretty clearly. Berlusconi would like to terminate this. And again, forces in Britain also have seen the handwriting on the wall, and the Canadians, I think this is just a matter of time. Now, here in the United States, and this is big news, it's going the other way. There is a secret report. It's not being kept completely secret because it can't be. It's being leaked because it's very controversial. So leaks continue in Washington, even in the utopian golden age of Barkey. The secret report by General McChrystal, and you'll remember he is the certified war criminal, the guy who set up the torture chambers in Iraq. He's also probably the founder of Al-Qaeda in Iraq, which he conjured up out of a hat when it was needed for propaganda reasons under Mad Dog Bush the Younger. This General McChrystal, this is now Obama's hand-picked commander in the Afghan theater, is demanding 40,000, that is 40,000 additional U.S. forces on the fast track. There is an attempt by the Obama regime and the controlled media, and this is now a broad array, including left-wing media, will not mention this. It's 40,000. Fox News, put it on. Great. That's why you need a free press. Evil people do good. Fox News reporting, antiwar.com repeating, McChrystal wants 40,000, 40,000 additional U.S. forces. That would mean that since Obama taking office, the U.S. forces in Afghanistan would have increased 300%. Now, there's a surge. That goes way beyond any surge carried out by Mad Dog Bush the Younger in Iraq. That's the troop level that Obama is demanding. And this is not just talk. 3,000 additional GIs are on their way to Afghanistan right now. So that's almost one-tenth. But this is now 40,000 above and beyond. So this is a massive escalation. The Washington Post is now back to publishing the faces of the dead, the catalog with photographs of the people who have gotten killed in Afghanistan. This is an absolute disaster. The U.S. animus against Karzai couldn't be greater. Karzai has now declared himself the winner of the Afghan elections with more than 50%. He does not need a runoff. He does not need ballotage. So the U.S., the State Department is obviously grumbling. Right? There's tremendous hostility to Karzai. This is being played out inside the country. Clashes with Holbrooke and between Holbrooke and Karzai, as we've heard. So this is obviously a very explosive situation. Karzai, don't become the next President Diem. Don't end up in the trunk of a car run by the U.S. Embassy and the State Department. This is an absolute recipe for catastrophe. Petraeus is going to testify. We've actually had testimony in front of the Congress by Admiral Mullen, the warmonger holdover head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who says, yes, the situation is deteriorating and serious, but we must have more forces, more commitment, more time, more money, more civilians, more everything. What is the point of this? What is the goal? Nobody can tell you what the goal is. There will be testimony by Petraeus in the near future. There's a demand from certain anti-war Democrats who are now coming out of the woodwork after a long eclipse, that McChrystal himself, the butcher McChrystal, should come before the Congress and testify along with Petraeus. But Defense Secretary Gates, the former office boy of Zbigniew Brzezinski back 30 years ago under Carter, Gates is saying no, McChrystal does not have to come. He's busy fighting the war and so forth. Biden has been cavorting around Iraq, getting shot at, right? Mortar rounds falling all around him. And Biden's line is, if the Maliki regime in Iraq wants the U.S. to leave, then the U.S. will leave. One argument made, of course, in favor of the Afghan war is that if you have a safe haven, if you have a sanctuary for terrorists, then Al-Qaeda will use it. Well, the problem with that is, as an op-ed in the Washington Post has pointed out this week, you've already got that, right? Somalia would be a great safe haven. No need to look any further. You're not going to occupy Somalia, are you, boys? And, of course, according to the mythology of these characters, bin Laden is not in Afghanistan, but he's in Waziristan. He's in the federally administered tribal areas of Pakistan, and therefore he's already out of that country. Remember, the goal of the U.S. presence in Afghanistan is to push Taliban fighters into Pakistan so that they can fight a civil war and overthrow the Pakistan central government, the goal being split Pakistan into 5 parts. That is the goal. It is an anti-Chinese policy to prevent Pakistan from becoming ever an pro-Chinese energy corridor for oil from Iran and perhaps even further in the Middle East, but from Iran principally across a pipeline up over the Himalayas and into China. That would be strategic. That would also be good business. That would be peaceful trade. Who could feel threatened by that? London and New York and Washington. That's who. Inside the U.S., you've already got Senator Feingold wants a timetable to get out. Senator Levin of the Senate Armed Services Committee also very skeptical about Afghanistan. There's no operational edge to this. Senator Feinstein, the same thing. She is unhappy. A lot of grumbling among the Out of Iraq caucus in the House of Representatives. Why not found an Out of Afghanistan caucus against Obama, dear Democrats in the House? We'll be back in a minute.